lots of thoughts trying to come out at the same time. But,
and then when they got into power, it got even worse. The idea that Keir Starmer is this kind of loner, a guy who doesn't like meeting people, apparently suffered from stage fright, which is one of the reasons they brought this woman in to try and help him speak, and sort of is a very the picture is painted of a very odd man.
He's just not up to it. It's very clear to me that he cannot survive as Prime Minister until the next election. Clearly, the next election is a very, very long time away. But it's inconceivable to me that this guy is going to continue leading his party and into any kind of major electoral test. It's everyone around him must be able to see that this isn't working. It was obvious before he even became Prime Minister. You could see it in those TV debates he did during the election, that he's missing some quite major elements of what it takes to be an engaging and impressive politician. He's just not up to it.
Well, let's have a look, right? I've got a couple of clips here. The first one is from 2017 when he was campaigning. And actually, you might argue that he's actually less wooden in 2017 than he is now.
Here we are in Kentish Town, canvassing in the rain, and Owen's out with us this afternoon, which has meant we've got lots more people than we might otherwise have had, which has been fantastic. So it may be raining, we're out canvassing. Good team.
There we were in happier times with Owen Jones, who's all smiles, who now hates him and won't even admit to being a Labour voter anymore. But then in 2024, this is what he turned into.
Fixing the foundations is like finding damp in your wall.
I mean, that's possibly the worst analogy I think I've ever found anywhere,
It just is dire, isn't it? I'm struck by how much he's aged, I suppose, that we all have. But, I think it has gone downhill. I really do. I think he's thinking too hard. It sort of reminds me a bit, actually, of when Gordon Brown, when one of his coaches or his focus group said that he doesn't smile enough. Right. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And he started doing these really weird kind of rictus fake things, and it was worse than what there was before. I think that maybe Keir Starmer's just overthinking things and should try to just be a bit more natural, or maybe the raw material just isn't there.
Right.
I don't think he's going to change, is he? Just my God!
I don't see how he can. I mean, one of the more delicious revelations from the book is that Tony Blair still refers to Gordon Brown as a nutcase.
Hey guys, the right-wing faction within the Labour Party. Yes, there is a right-wing faction within the Labour Party, the group that defends the status quo, as it were. Basically, the left-leaning Tories, the Red Tories. They essentially are. Maintains the business-as-usual mentality. They pander to the elites. And it's one of the most nastiest, most ruthless groups in British politics. And when you consider how toxic the British political scene can be, that is saying something. It's only fitting that Starmer has spent years serving the Labour right, dismantling left-wing policies, waging a never-ending battle against the Labour left. Look what happened with Corbyn. He almost won a general election without Karma's default bullshit. And look what Keir Starmer did to him. But here's the twist. Okay, after he's tried to destroy all the Labour policy, the left-wing policies, and adopting right-wing rhetoric on issues like immigration and the welfare state, the twist is that those very people he's trying to please, the Labour right, have no problem whatsoever trashing him, fucking him off, making it very clear they want to get rid of him. Behind closed doors, they referred to Starmer as a useless figurehead, a man with no principles, just a puppet who does what he's told. It's almost as if they're running a political version of a driverless train, and Starmer's just sitting at the front, thinking how he's in charge. Starmer's leadership is a product of political manipulation. He was never chosen for his ideology. He probably doesn't even have one. He has no vision. He has no ideology. Instead, he was picked because he was the right kind of bland, a figure who could serve the interests of the Labour right. He had the respectable background as a former director of public prosecutions and a convenient lack of strong opinions. The fact that Starmer was willing to serve in Corbyn's shadow cabinet in the first place, pretending to agree with Corbyn, shows us that he's willing to do absolutely anything to climb the political ladder. Keir Starmer is a plastic bag. He'll blow whichever way the wind blows. In 2015, there was even a campaign to make Starmer Labour leader, and he was flattered by it. Its hunger for power for its own sake was evident from the beginning. The desire to climb the political ranks regardless of the cost. Is Keir Starmer all over? In November 2020, he said he wouldn't crush the left. Just a few months later, he's changing the party rules, making it impossible for the left to field a candidate in the future. He betrays his promises time and time again. In 2021, Starmer even faced a coup from his own deputy, Angela Rayner. And how did he respond? He gave him more job titles. And she, along with the unions, had enough of his weak leadership and were prepared to launch an overthrow. But even though they're just scared he won't fight back. He hasn't got a backbone. How can he fight back without a backbone? And that's the real problem, isn't it? Starmer just lacks vision. It's that he represents the collapse of the Labour right's ability to provide a coherent plan for Britain. Ever since the 2008 financial crash, the UK has been in a state of crisis, and the Labour right has never offered any substantial answers. This isn't just a Starmer problem, it's a Labour right systemic issue. And the latest absurdity, expanding Heathrow, something Keir Starmer campaigned against, becomes the government's big idea for a vision, its latest vision. It's just another example of how removed the far right is from any coherent, principled politics. Basically, they don't have a fucking clue. And let's be real here. Starmer and his team may have manipulated the system to win, but they've done nothing for the country. They've used deceit to get into power, and they're now scrambling to avoid responsibility. Keir Starmer's leadership campaign was a pack of bullshit, a pack of lies designed to destroy the left. And now, as the country sinks into further crisis, the man who once thought Starmer was their ticket, the people who once thought Starmer was their ticket, are now turning on him. And it will only get worse. But let me know what you think in the comments. I've been Jake from Just Jake. Feel free to buy me Feel free to buy me a beer from the description below. And subscribe to the channel and follow my Facebook page. And I'll see you later. Thank you for watching. You actually made it to the end of the video. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, which, why haven't you already, is somewhere over there. And also, if you want to watch more videos, also check out over there. I've been Jake from Just Jake. See you later.